back then when I was first introduced to Alex Leonidas, formerly known as Alpha Destiny. I was actually intrigued in some of his most famous videos back in 2014, 2015, 2016, most especially. That was the time I was actually beginning my fitness journey, my supposed beginner phase, novice phase. I was spamming calisthenics uh, in my first uh, 2 to 3 years before I transitioned into lifting weights because uh, it was actually because I was insecure of my physique. I was constantly getting teased, getting bullied, not physically, but most of the time it's a verbal or mental type of bullying. Um, so I always look up on some self defense videos, some some of Shane Fazen's fight tips, special mention. Uh, Shane Fazen, if you're one of his OG subscribers, you would definitely remember and know the reference of having a mouth guard at all times. But that's besides the point because in today's video, I'll be relating one of the topics that introduced me to Alex Leonidas, in which muscles you should target in looking bigger and more jacked, even with clothes on. So starting off, in my honest opinion, your shoulders actually speaks for itself. Um, eh, in most art, the collective consciousness of the male gender is that when you have wide shoulders, you are instantly more recognizable and you stick out like a sore thumb on a public group because a wide shoulder would mean you'd have a more prominent physique that in comparison to men's physique models and even the classic physiques. On classic physique, for example, like Arnold, although he is also well known for his well developed chest and biceps, I think his shoulders are also well developed. And overall, the category of men's classic physique, it emphasizes just as much as men's physique in terms of the V taper physique. Um, most of most of the time, when you want to grow your front delts, doing a lot of heavy vertical presses would probably suit the job. But in doing isolations, most especially in some compound lifts, you would probably have a hard time in targeting your side delts. Probably the closest thing that a compound lift would hit your side delt. Side delts would be something like a upper row, whether it could be with a straight bar, an easy bar, or much better with dumbbells. Variation of a high pull, whether it could be on a wide grip on the barbell, Olympic style lift, Olympic style type of grip on a barbell would most definitely target not only your traps but also your front and your side delts. The rear delts, a lot of heavy pulls off the floor or doing a lot of vertical pulling would also hit your rear delts as much as doing presses would hit your front delt, but isolating it would actually more accumulate more volume and a lot of tonnage, in which in turn would grow your uh, rear delts even more. And uh, although I won't romanticize the use of PEDs, even the likes of Sam Sulek, a very notorious and very well known figure now in the realm of social media fitness. He likes to also prioritize and take note of the rear delts, especially in doing the side bicep, what do you call that pose? Um, when you do a side chest with your biceps flex, bice, biceps flex. Um, Most of the time, it's not your rear delt that makes your shoulder and your upper arms look bigger and beefier. It's actually the rear delts. So definitely prioritize your rear delts. Also, uh, keep in mind that shoulder health and your rotator, the health of your rotator cuffs is very important and crucial if you want to have a long term, long, oh my god, a long term healthy relationship with lifting weights, because it's very bad and it's a very sad thing that you'd be injured easily if you don't take care of your joints very well, most especially your shoulder and rotator cuffs. I actually turn on the air conditioning again. You'd have to bear with me in the sound of the air conditioning machine on the background. So the second muscle group that you should target and looking bigger and jacked even with clothes on is obviously the back. Like, it's the epitome of masculinity. Like, there's this thing in the male gender that having a big back uh, just completely says it all. Like, you're a responsible man, you carry a lot of burden, literally and figuratively, and overall, it's just, one of the most badass muscle group on the human body, even on the animal kingdom. If you happen to see a huge water buffalo with a huge back, an American bison, silverback gorilla. I mean, it's in the name. It's in their name. Like, it, it produces dominance and it speaks for itself. Um, Most especially uh, the the lats for the width. Of course, don't forget the teres major, the traps, your whole upper back, so your rhomboids, and even your rear delts for the overall thick component, especially on the side view, which I would like to achieve on this long term lean bulk that um, I'm actually going to do in the next 2 to 3 years, possibly. I for In building a huge, thick and wide back, I prioritize uh, heavy hip hinges off the floor, some heavy vertical pulls. Um, I'm also trying to see how much carryover would heavy weighted pulls off the floor and how it would translate very well on calisthenic status skills. Um, uh, Also, I am actually doing back almost every single day, but in a way that you would not interfere on some, or you would interfere the same muscle group on a daily basis, in which it would probably result in overuse injuries and possibly even decommission you in training at the gym. So my goal or my plan is mix I mix in my heavy hip hinges during my lower body sessions, my my heavy vertical pulls during my push days, and then I sneak in some heavy double pullovers during my arm day. So in general, I'm actually trying or training my back in almost every single day. Of course, there's a rest day in which I train 5 to 6 days a week. So that's it. Then third muscle group that I would like you to target in, or if your goal is to look bigger, even with clothes on, is your hamstrings and calves. But that's actually counterintuitive if you are going to ask the average novice, because some of them would like to hit and target your quads or your thighs. If you are lucky enough to encounter a novice that would be happy or be able to train legs, uh, or able to make them squat, because in my honest opinion, having big calves actually gives you the excuse or the pass on having small thighs. Although, of course, in my honest view, having a well balanced physique and having no stones left unturned is my uh, go to option nowadays. I tend to balance out my physique and hit my weak points. In which, in this topic, if the goal is looking jacked even with clothes on, having huge calves and hamstrings definitely complements uh, in having a very well jacked physique, because uh, for the average Joe, having a big calf is a rare thing. Um, if you have a big calf, you're either a pro bodybuilder or you are a very you're actually a very well achieved athlete, because especially in doing combat sports and field sports like basketball, American football, uh, tennis, badminton, in which you need to run, sprint, jump, and hop all the time during competition, it would develop calves very, very easily. Um, you should definitely see the average basketball player here in the Philippines. Um, Even Manny Pacquiao, he has monstrous calves that it should be called bull oxens. Then the fourth muscle group that I would like you to target in looking bigger, uh, with clothes on, because 99.9% you would like you will you're most likely clothed on public unless you're at the beach, you're at the beach, you're at the swimming pool, or you're a competitive bodybuilder. So targeting your forearms, um, most definitely says a lot. Again, it correlates with the back. It means you're a very responsible man. You carry a lot of burden. You lift a lot of heavy weights, most especially those with the well-developed brachioradialis and some of these extensors. I'm actually trying to build my forearms as well. Actually trying to in the past few months, I've been training my forearms like an arm wrestler, because it's the thing nowadays in the looks maxing the niche community of looks maxing, combining the art of bodybuilding with self care, and forearms most definitely. Well, in some on some guys' opinion, having a huge forearms would most definitely attract the opposite gender or whomever you're attracted to. And in my honest opinion, a huge forearm is actually very uh, appealing in as or appealing in the collective consciousness of the male gender, most especially those who are actually veiny. And it says a lot that, again, you lift a lot of heavy stuff and you're a very strong, independent man. Then, lastly, the last muscle group I would like you to target in looking bigger, even with clothes, of course, is the neck. It correlates with what I mentioned earlier. I was introduced to Alex channel, formerly known as Alpha Destiny, because of his obsession with the neck and traps. Back then, I was actually very baffled, and I even ridiculed him in some of his videos on how much one guy is obsessed with a muscle group that no one cares about. And then, as I grew up, you know, I became a fan of combat sports, especially grappling. Uh, the neck is actually one of the most, if not the most important muscle group as a wrestler, a grappler, because it technically is the fifth limb of our body. Uh, as the saying goes, where the head goes, the body follows. So if you want to control or manhandle another male, another individual, most definitely you manipulate his head, in which, in case his neck, his whole body follows. So I do a lot of curls and extension. That's it. That's the one of the most basic functions of the neck. You can add in and sprinkle some side curls. Uh, the setup is actually very burdensome, especially if you don't have the neck harness. You don't have the privilege of having a neck harness. Uh, Most definitely, I suggest you uh, buy some of the top quality neck harnesses, because on the market they'll sell you some of these cheap bootleg copies that would just hang on a limited weight of probably 20 to 25 pounds, and I'm actually saving up in buying a top quality neck harness, of course, so I can get some of those horse neck gains. So that would be it for today's video. I know there's a lot of videos like this and has the same title as this video, but I'm just giving on my honest opinion and uploading more content on this YouTube channel as I promised on my New Year's resolution. Um, Comment down below what muscle groups do you think would give you the appearance of looking more aesthetic, looking more bigger, more jacked, even with clothes on. And if you happen to agree or disagree with me, that's fine. Uh, give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. Share this with your friends. Again, that will be it. So, thank you for watching and have a good day.